Hey guys, welcome to the Model Citizen Podcast. We're your hosts, Hunter
and Michaela.
We are so excited to have you here. All right, let's dive in.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast.
Welcome back, dude. The brows are looking good.
Thank you. Thank you. They
Good.
are very fresh, very freshly done.
They're so good.
Thank you. You know what? Sometimes you just have to come in with a very bold and fierce, angry brow.
Listen, and we've talked about my brows here before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've been a topic of combo.
They've been a topic.
A time or two.
I can easily, here's the thing for me and my brows.
Mm-hmm.
I've always had really bushy brows. This is not even a bushy brow for me. Like if you knew my natural
this
brow.
is skinny. This is skinny. This is 90s skinny brow for you.
Literally. But
it's
here's the
giving
thing.
Pamela Anderson.
I've also gone so skinny. So it's like I literally went from bushy. Like you guys wouldn't even believe. It's actually like my part of my eyelid was brow. And then I went skinny where it literally looked scary. And now we've leveled out. But here's the thing is that my brows are the type of brows where I'm one brush stroke away from a bold, severe brow. If I
a blocky brow.
So slightly, it's just one stroke. It's one stroke and it's a bold block. And it's a very fine line. Speaking of brows, a gal I went to high school with, I saw on Facebook today, the blocky brows. And I'm just like, no.
Was she nice in high school or mean?
She was nice to me, but she was kind of mean to other girls.
Well, all right. You know what? If she was nice to you, she counts. Okay.
She's the one girl who was kind of nice to me in high school.
Right. Exactly.
But I'm just like,
no, not the blocky brows.
Which is like,
girl.
Fine, whatever. Do what you want to do. Live your life.
Dude, if you feel good in a blocky brow.
Who cares? Literally, I don't care. See if I care. Why don't you do it and see if I care?
Why don't you do it and see if I give a fucking hoot, huh?
I think that should be along with, because you've been sending me some of the comments you got on your recent reel, right? And you today said you're better. And I think that's such a great
That's a page out of your book. That's a page out of your book.
I just think it's such a great comeback.
Yeah.
I just think it's so to the point. I also think that see if I care is a good one too. Like,
dude,
do it your way. I'm gonna do it my way. See if I care.
Literally. So you guys, if you don't know, I posted something about like my travel hacks, which I really worked a lot on that video. So like, I'm glad that people felt like
it popped off.
It popped off, and I'm glad that people got. And then, but like one of the things was that I said, if you're traveling through Europe, and a lot of European hotels, they have the thing where you have to put your hotel card in order to keep the electricity on there for the AC. And of course, we have the environmentalists that are in my comments being like, this is wasteful. And like one of the girls was like, this is wasteful. When I go to Europe, I just close the blind, and I literally just responded, and I was like, you're better. Dude, you're literally better. You're better. You win the environmental awareness Olympics. I really hope that you're also in like these comments right now,
also
telling them about.
I hope you never use ChatGPT once.
I hope you've never used ChatGPT. I hope you never get in a car. By the way, hotels do this to save themselves money. If hotels really cared about the environment, they wouldn't exist at all. So we all have our thing. Okay. We all have our thing.
The hack of using like a regular card.
Yes, you can use a gift card. Bring a gift card.
I didn't know that.
Or a lot of times hotels will only give you one card. Just say you lost one.
Yeah.
Just be like, I lost it.
Yeah.
And be comfy because you're paying for it. And the hotels,
you guys would be horrified if you knew what I left my hotel room at when I left for the day.
Well, here's the thing is that we all, like, you're paying it. You're paying for that money. You're paying for that anyway is the thing. Like, I understand where they're coming from. It's not like these hotels, they're saving money. It's also they can save money. It has nothing to do with the environment. Like, give me a fucking break. But they don't pass those savings on to you at all. Like, they're going to charge you an arm and a leg. So it's like, you may as well just use it at that point.
Right. You may as well. It's literally like that Friends episode where Chandler and Ross, they I think they go to, like, Vermont or something. Yeah, it's, like, Vermont, and they're like, "So all of this is, like, owed to us, right? Like,
Right.
the apples at the front, those are ours, that's
Those are
owed to
ours.
us. Like, the free
Yes.
toothpaste, that's owed to us."
Yes.
And they
Yes.
just, like, go so deep as to, like, the light in the room, right? Like, the light
Yes.
bulb, it's owed to
I
us.
fully support that. Also, I'm so sorry, but she's skinny. She was skinny. I don't wanna
Mm.
fucking hear it, okay? I don't need to hear it from a skinny girl.
See, I
You don't know
need
my struggle, and by the way, I made this specifically for plus size girls. This list was specific for my girly pops. If you can glean something from it as a straight size girly, that's great. I love that for you. But this was for
mm,
my curvy girls, okay? My
yeah,
mega babe using,
uh-huh.
panty liner using on the airplane, AC
Panty
needing.
liner.
Yeah, you use panty liners on the airplane so that you're, like, fresh. So that when you
That's
land, you take them
you
off
just
and you just have fresh undies.
that is so smart, literally, because nothing is worse than landing or flying overseas and then getting off and smelling so rank.
So bad, so bad, and everyone does. There's no shame in
Everyone
it.
does.
You're sitting for 10 hours, you're gonna smell crazy.
I love a one of my favorites was the travel persona,
Yes.
and I just love that. I used to
Mm,
love doing that when I was traveling for modeling. I would literally show up to New York and be like, "Hello,
yeah,
hello, I'm from
right,
Sydney.
right. For New Zealand.
Yeah, hello, I'm from New Zealand. My
Yeah.
name's Bingo from Bluey.
Dude, my name's Bingo.
My name's Bingo."
My name's
I
Bingo.
love a
Bad
travel
accents.
persona.
I do too.
What would you
So
do if you
if
met
you guys
your like, the love of your life and like, using a persona and
that
then,
would be
like
so funny.
and then, like, would you keep it up?
That's kind of like Aladdin style where it's like I'm low key the princess. You'd have to keep it up for the rest of your life.
It's kinda like how I told Brian that I was 25 when I was 22 on our first
Right.
date, and I didn't tell him until 6 months into us dating.
How old you were? How old
Yeah.
you actually
Did you
were?
know that?
No, I didn't know that. That's crazy, Hunter.
Michaela,
But you always loved to tell people you were older than you were for
I
no
know,
good
and now
reason
I
whatsoever.
literally look the age I've
Also,
always
what's the difference
looked.
between 20 and 25? Like, literally,
Because he
that's the
was
same
30
age.
as a kid, and I was like, "Oh my god, 22 sounds crazy." 25 sounds a little bit more refined,
It does.
and I had just turned 22.
Right. Right.
Or no,
Well,
I was going to be turning 23, so I was like, "It's not so bad of a lie," but it took 6 months for me to tell him. So
right.
imagine that when I told him and he was like, "You're 22?"
That's
What?
crazy. That's crazy. You're very mature though, so I'm sure it was,
Yeah, no one ever
mature
believed.
looking,
No
like
one
in your
ever
face.
believed
Yeah, like you just have a
my
facial
age.
structure of a woman in her elderly golden years.
I do have an elder's facial structure.
Facial structure. Um, I feel like we couldn't go through this episode without mentioning everything going on right now in LA, because
Mm,
it just feels weird, obviously, not to talk about it, right?
yeah.
And it's going on everywhere too, by the
Yeah,
way,
I'm getting the same ring notifications out here. Actually, yesterday well, I'll tell you a story after you do your
No,
thing.
yeah. No, go for it. I mean,
And if yeah, we're talking about all the ice
the
of it
ICE
all.
raids. It's the ICE raids of it all. And you guys know Hunter and I are from LA, right? Like you guys know this, that LA has been our home for our entire lives. And it's like we already went through so much with the fires. It's like people already lost so much with the fires. And so the fact that this would be brought upon this state is mind boggling to me. And we all know there's a reason for it. We are like the number one dissenter to the whole conservative machine. So, of course, they're going to target us. Now, I'd love to see what happens in Dallas, because same exact things going down in Dallas. Would love to see if,
Mhm,
he's sending in the troops there too.
mhm.
I guess
I
we'll.
also just love the videos of, like, showing the mayhem and then the
Mm,
people who are, like, basically saying, like, "Yeah, that's one video from, like, one small little area," but, like, everywhere else is totally peaceful, chill, like, calm
Well, they keep
protesting.
showing the same one car
It
that was lit on
that
fire, the Waymo car. The car's been burning for 4 days, according to.
and then there's one that has been going around that was debunked that was from 2022.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Whereas everything I've seen has been nothing but peaceful, and
Until the National Guard comes in.
until the National Guard comes in and they start to make things 10 times worse and inflammatory. Like, what is happening in Los Angeles right now, which is a sanctuary state, by the way. So if you don't know what that is, please look it up. Um, it's terrifying, not just for the Mexican community, but like even just Los Angeles as a whole. It's terrifying for the whole country. Like, men in armored vehicles are showing up masked, ripping
Mhm.
people from their homes, places of work, and families, and
Mhm.
unjustly attempting to
Going into
deport them
schools. That part, and can you also share due process?
and
Which
due
is part of the
process.
Constitution, by the way, you guys. It is in the Constitution. It's the very people who are all about upholding the Constitution, right? Everything is Constitution, Constitution. We the people, we, for liberty and justice for all, right? Didn't we all grow up saying that and putting our right hand over our heart
Mhm.
and being forced to say that
Right. And due process.
until
Due process requires just and fair treatment of everyone, regardless of background or immigration status,
Mhm.
if their life, freedom, or property is at risk.
Right. And the
And
thing
here's the
is, you
thing,
guys, yeah, that's a
i-
thing.
if you don't
Let's both
think they're
say the
gonna
thing.
if you don't think they're gonna be eventually at your doorstep, dude, you're living in a fucking fantasy. Like, I
Well,
want a
something
piece.
is gonna be.
I want a little bit of that like magic fairy coke dust y'all are snorting to think that it's not gonna be actually at all of our doorsteps in some capacity.
Mhm.
Because I'm in the real world right now where people are not being treated like humans. Like,
Yeah, it's
every single
absolutely
person is
crazy.
protected by the Constitution who is in this country. Every single person, regardless of citizenship status. And on that note, can I just say, I don't care if they mow your lawn. I don't care if they make your dinner. I don't care if they are your housekeeper. Like, I am not like, I don't care about that like side of it. I don't need to benefit off of someone for me to treat them like a human. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't need to have I don't need to be like, they're my gardener. They can do nothing for me.
Mhm.
And like, they still deserve to be treated like humans,
They're
you know?
more than what they do for work, you know what I mean? These are human
Absolutely.
beings, these are parents, these are sisters, they're brothers, they're humans, and, like, the thing is that people don't realize that America was built off of immigrants. So, a lot of times I keep seeing people being like, "Well, you're waving your flag from, Ecuador or wherever. Why don't you just go back there?" Just because someone is waving a flag from another country because they are proud of where they came from and they built
Mhm.
a life here in America does not make them less of an American. That's like literally saying because we say we're from, Icelandic heritage that we're not proud to be an American. It's just the
If
that
Icelandic
old
people
trope
were
doesn't
getting
stand
rounded
up.
up right now, if Icelandic people were getting rounded up right now and, illegally deported without due process, I would be out there with an Icelandic flag too.
Absolutely,
You know? Like,
absolutely.
like, that literally, it's like you can have the whole point of America is to be proud that you came from somewhere else and you have, like, become a part of this, like, incredible, they
It's
say
literally
melting
the
pot.
fabric of how America became
Right.
immigrants. I think
Right.
people forget like, I think the thing is, though, is that I think a lot of people, especially in the Republican regime, is they believe, the Constitution when it benefits them, and they believe the American history when it benefits them. But if you really look in the true and true how we became, it's stolen land
Mhm.
and built brick by brick by immigrants. And, I think the thing is a lot, you actually sent me this video the other day of the woman who started Latinos for Trump.
Mm.
And she goes on to say, like, this is not what we voted for, blah, blah, blah. And I was telling Mikhail, like, this is exactly what you voted for. He campaigned on this. You think he said he wanted to build a wall back in 2016 or whenever
Mm.
just for funsies? No, no, no. He's been campaigning on this since the
Right.
jump.
Right.
So you guys just decided you wanted to do this and cover your eyes in the name of possibly making more money
Mm.
or whatever lie
Getting a
you
little
bought
affection
into.
from these millionaires and billionaires and getting a little seat at the table, the racist round table.
There's no seat at the table. There never was. And they're
No.
laughing. They're literally laughing. And it's so devastating. And it sucks that we have to sit around because y'all fucked around and found out. We have to find out with you. And it sucks. It sucks to see. And it's funny because Cammie Crawford actually posted the other day. She was like, it's been hard because, like all of us, we were so vocal during the election, right? And we put so much out there and so much on the line with our platforms and who we are, whatever, right? And she's like, it's been hard to like continue. It's like we told you. I don't know what else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
What else can be done at this point? What else
yeah.
can we even do? We can't help you. You don't wanna help yourselves. You
You don't
guys
wanna help
wanna
yourself, and she
no.
was like, "It's exhausting," and it's like, I think she had mentioned something like her therapist was like, "You also have to know, like, you're still doing the work," right?
Mhm.
But she's like, "I'm fucking exhausted." Like, we
I'm
told y'all,
sure. I'm sure.
you
Yeah,
know?
we've been told you guys.
And,
You guys wanna demonize, immigrants that pay taxes, but you guys wanna celebrate and admire billionaires who don't. It literally makes no sense. We have the like, this is like failing an open book test, essentially. Like, we've already
it's so
seen what happens.
embarrassing.
These people told us what they were gonna do, and then now
It's
they're doing
so
it, and everyone's like,
embarrassing.
"Wait." And can I just say, I love to see the downfall of a Trump supporter. And everyone's like, "Oh, I don't wanna say I told you so." I do wanna say I told you so. Now, it sucks because I we lose either way. I lose, you lose, they lose. We all are losing right now, but I do love to see a crash and burn from a Trump supporter
And the thing is,
because they're
though,
crashing out right now. They're like, "Wait, but we didn't
right.
support we did." It's because you guys didn't support having to do it A, yourself, or it happening to people that B, or C, you didn't think that you were gonna have to stand in front of people and defend actual like like horrific acts against humanity. You guys didn't think that was going to happen, that you would have to stand up for it. You guys were so loud in January. Oh my God, he won. Yes, like finally make America great. Where are you guys now? Everyone's so fucking quiet. Where are you
Mhm.
all?
They're on
Hello?
Facebook making whack ass posts. And that's on voting for people other than yourself. I will say one thing.
Period.
The one
Imagine you just
thing,
support Donald Trump.
yeah, I MAGA.
You're like
The
in
one
support though, in defense.
I will say one thing is that through all of this, like my husband said, he was like, this is making Gavin Newsom look
Mm.
so fucking presidential and making
Hmm.
his next run. Cause we know Gavin Newsom is going to run for president in the next election cycle, right? And if he doesn't, that would be silly because I feel like he's like a knockout
Yeah, but I
in
feel like
more
that's
ways than
crazy though to do. Yeah,
one.
he's very
He's
handsome,
giving
literally.
zaddy.
Here's the thing about Gavin Newsom, and I can say this because he's our guy, but he's also like Gavin Newsom reminds me of like the really hot rich bully in high school who like
Yeah.
he's a bully for sure, but like he's gonna bully for you, so you're like okay with it. You know what I mean? Like you're just like
Right.
at
Like
least
he's
you're
gonna
defending us.
totally. No, 100%. But Brian was like, he was like, every time Trump like says something to Gavin Newsom or tries to make him be like, I'm in charge, Gavin Newsom's like, all right, big guy, come
Right,
on.
like let's
And
go.
it's like, he's just literally making Gavin Newsom look so great. And I think what Trump is trying to do is like take him down, especially after like the way he handled the fires and everything, whatever. I think it's just absolutely going in Gavin
Well, it was the
Newsom's
come and
favor.
arrest me big guy of it all. Like
I
from it's
know. And I
like
was just like,
but the thing is that everyone in this country hates Californians. And so, like,
no,
I don't think Gavin
literally.
Newsom will ever stand a chance because everyone fucking hates Californians for no reason.
I know.
We have no beef with anybody, and everyone has a beef with us just because the state is fucking rocking. Is fucking
It's because it's
rocking
literally
and
beautiful.
rolling because it's absolutely
Extremely.
gorgina because it's absolutely perfect in so many ways as far as like it's so beautiful. Like, yeah, we have our issues like every state does. Like, yes, there's so much you could say, but it's like, yeah, but like it's beautiful 75 degrees out. You know what I mean? Every day.
Right.
So
However,
like
I'm telling you right now, he will run.
I need
He'll
Pete
try.
Buttigieg to run.
I need Pete Buttigieg to run as well because I really, really like him. I actually listened to him on a podcast on Smartless, and he was
Mhm.
so informed. I love the way he's almost probably one of those people that would actually kind of be right down the middle, like maybe a little more
He
left
is.
leaning, but he's
Yeah.
pretty down the middle. Like
Mhm.
he's really like taking in account both sides. I think that he would be really good for us. Um, but I will say Gavin Newsom mark my words, will run. I don't think he'll win, but he will run.
Well,
And
we
if
need
he
someone who
doesn't
can win, okay?
have the
You know
best
what they've been
hair
saying?
in the
Oh,
game,
dude. You know he gets up in the morning and he slicks that hair back and he does a little of those drunk elephant bronzer drops
absolutely, he does
and
one of these,
meh, he
the
does that
SpongeBob.
and he goes out and he looks like a supervillain, but he's on our side. So we're
Love
good.
that.
We're good with it. But people are saying that like what we need is we need a safe white guy. Where's the safe white guy? That's
Good
unfortunately what
luck.
we need because this country is so full of fucking bigots that that's why Trump keeps winning because he's only won against women,
Which
which
is
just
like,
goes to show how much
I
of a
love that
fucking
meme,
big
dude.
bigot this whole country can be, that half.
I really want, oh God, I just want Barack Obama to have like a brother who's in politics,
Mhm.
you know?
Well, he does have a wife, if only.
I
Come
mean,
on,
my
Michelle,
God, if
help. Could
she
you
won,
imagine?
they're so fucking, here's the thing. They're so exhausted, right? I can't even
They're so tired. They must
imagine.
be so
Oh my
exhausted, dude.
God.
I'm
Let him
exhausted.
rest. Don't even like,
I know. I don't want to put
I
them
wouldn't
through
even want that
anymore.
for her, for a girl. I
No,
wouldn't even
because
want
we
that for
actually
her.
love her. That's the thing. That's
Yeah.
the difference
If
between
you
you.
love somebody, let them go.
If you love somebody, let them
Okay. And
go.
I
And
just
we've
came up
been
with that.
saying that.
Yeah.
You just came up with
I
that.
did. I did.
Girl.
So okay. That part is that part. And
That part is
it's
that part.
more on that.
More on that later.
Hopefully not more on that. Hopefully this, you know what I mean? It's like, but that's wishful thinking. But also, I want to talk about something to switch gears a little bit. My son this weekend on our way to strawberry picking, we we were driving on the freeway and we saw a large deer that
Mhm.
was dead. Okay.
Mm,
This was his very first brush with,
death.
yes, and trying to grasp it.
Mhm.
And bro, it was the hardest thing for us to navigate
Interesting.
because he had so many questions. And I was just like, how can I answer these? A, in an appropriate manner, B, where he can understand it, and C, where it's not going to like scare him. I mean, he literally talked about this deer for hours, Michaela. Like
Yeah.
we would get a couple minutes of reprieve, when we were doing strawberries, and then he would bring up the deer. How did it get there? How did it die? Was it a
Mm.
car? What kind of car was it? Was it because it was going fast? Did it know the deer was there? I mean, all of this stuff. How come the deer was there? Where was the deer's mommy and daddy?
Crying.
Literally asking all these questions. And I'm just like,
Wow, heartbreak.
I have to figure out a way to navigate this where I can explain to him where it is a digestible way, because these kids these days are too smart. I
They
literally
are.
was like, I think he's hurt. And they might, because he was like, well, then does he just stay there? Or like,
Mhm.
what do they do now? Is he just going to be there on the side forever? And I was like, well, no, I think that the animal control will probably come and they'll pick him up and maybe, and he was like, well, where does he go? And I go, well, maybe on like a deer stretcher. And then it's like,
Mm.
well, does he go to is there a hospital for deers? And like, what would they fix on him? I'm just
Oh.
like,
You're like, "They're gonna turn him into soup,
dude,
of course.
literally
Roadkill soup."
at some point, Brian, I felt so bad because I was just like, enough with the deer. We're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
I felt
Yeah.
so bad. And then,
Oh
bro, we had a deer. We had a deer in our backyard that night. And I showed Hudson and I was like, look, the deer's totally okay. It came
my
back, right?
god, that's
And
so
that
funny.
unraveled a whole other thing because he was like, what do you
Great,
mean
now
it
he
came
thinks
back?
people come back from the dead, Hunter. Great. Now he's gonna be, like, asking all the questions. He's gonna be like, "Well, when are they coming back? Remember, like, the
But he
deer?"
also just, like, didn't buy it. He was like, "I don't think that's the that doesn't look
Yeah,
like the
why do you
deer."
try and fool your kids, dude? They're so
I
smart.
know. And literally answering questions. Here's the thing, kids will ask questions that I know nothing about.
Right. Yeah.
I
They'll be
realize
like
how
they'll be
dumb I
like,
am.
"Why does the sun, orbit this? Why does the Earth orbit the sun
No,
at the speed that
literally.
it does?" And you're just like,
It also just goes to show how as we age, we just lose our curiosity so much, because I'm just like, I don't really care enough to know about that. Whereas they
"Right."
are like, well, wait a second. What kind of car was
Mhm.
driving? And did the deer not listen to its mommy and daddy? And why does Saturn have those rings? Is it hot? Is it
Right.
cold?
Right.
you're just like, I
I'll
guess I
never
lost my
forget
curiosity.
I'll never forget when, Martin's brother's son, we were talking about, planets because he was, like, in his planet era, and I was like, "Yeah, well, Mars is really hot," and he was like, "No, Mars is cold. It's really cold on Mars." And I was like, "I'm pretty sure it's hot, like,
Also,
it's
I
literally
know you
red."
Googled that. I
Literally, I Googled
know.
it 2 seconds later, and it was like, "Yeah, it's, like, usually at, like, a 70 like, negative 72 degrees or something." Let
It's
me look,
cold?
actually.
Whoa, I
Yes,
didn't know that it was
Mars
cold.
temperature. Okay. Okay, Mars can drop as low as negative 131 degrees.
Bro, not only is it cold, it is
Frozen
icy.
tundra. I know, and literally the way he turned around and was
Frozen.
like, "No, he's like, "It's not hot, it's cold." And
Yeah,
I was
he's
just
like,
like
"Idiot."
I was like,
Dude.
"Well, that's crazy because why is it red?" And he
No,
was
but
probably like, "Wow, my aunt's an absolute dingbat, bro." Like, a dingbat.
And dude, just the way that they can literally retain all this information.
Mhm.
I'm like, I've lost my curiosity. I've lost my memory.
You genuinely though, you've never been a very, like, curious person.
I
You
don't think so, dude. I'm literally
you're
just
kind of
fine with
just like, "I don't really care."
what is literally in the confines of my home. I'm like, "All
Right.
right, whatever." I just don't care. It has to take a
It's okay.
lot for me to really, I mean, obviously, there's certain things that I'm like, "Well, we really wanna dive in," but other than
Right.
that, meh.
Here's what I wanna know. Which planet do you think is the best planet in our solar system besides Earth?
Besides Earth, I
Which one and
mean,
why?
honestly, if we're gonna go based off of look, Saturn, she's that girl. I
Right.
Saturn has jewelry. Like, she has that
That's true.
little je ne sais quoi about her, and,
Dude,
like,
Saturn's a baddie.
she's a
Saturn is a
baddie.
baddie.
And I feel like all the other ones are like, "Eh," right?
Yeah, for sure. I think that I would give Saturn if we're taking Earth out of it completely, okay?
Well, yeah, that's obvious.
Okay, if we're taking Earth out of it completely, I would give Saturn the 2nd place.
Okay,
My
who's
first
first?
place is gonna have to be Mars, and I've had this conversation with people before,
Okay.
and here's my
Because life is
defense.
possible there?
Yes, see, you get me, sister.
Yeah.
You get me. You
Yeah.
see me.
That's right. That's
You
right,
see me and I
sister.
see you, okay?
That's
That's
right, sister.
exactly why I think
Yeah,
Earth
that
is
she's
why Mars I think is the best planet besides Earth.
yeah.
You
Yeah,
can't
well,
step on Saturn.
you can't?
No.
How do we know?
Can you walk on Saturn?
We don't know. We've never tried. There's no way we
No, you
could.
cannot walk. No, it's not. Okay. You can't walk on Saturn. It's a gas giant, which is also what you're called. It's a gas giant composed primarily of hydrogen and helium with no solid surface to stand on.
That's crazy. To think about the fact that there is no solid surfaces to stand on. It is literally a gas giant floating in the sky.
Right. Which is
She's really
literally me after Chipotle, dude. A gas giant floating in the sky.
she's really that bitch with a little
Literally.
tutu on, dude. She's really that bitch.
She really is. She's a
And now
gassy,
is
girly pop.
We've been to Mars, right? Yeah, the rover's
Who,
on
you and
Mars.
I?
Dude, how much is that gonna be podcast
Forgets.
in,
Literally,
like,
that's going to be you. That
that's
is going to
that's gonna
be
be
a
podcast in
podcast.
3025. It's like, we've been to Chipotle right now. We've been to Mars, right? Was
Right. We
that
went to Mars that
when
one
we went?
time.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I remember because there was, like,
It
the
was
guy
in
there, and he
3024.
yeah,
Remember?
he wasn't letting us
Yeah.
in. It
You
was a
came
whole
back
thing.
with the
There's a
braids.
line.
You
Yeah,
came back with those problematic braids.
like, that's totally podcast in
7 skin
3025.
colors too dark. Yeah. Like, yeah.
That yeah, literally Mars was lit.
Mars was litty,
Um,
dude. Vacation.
so we've been to Mars, right? Like, rovers on Mars.
Yes. Rovers on Mars. Absolutely.
Um, my thing is, like, why are we not kind of vibing it out more? Also,
Well,
how
because
can you Google, you know what? I'm passionate about space all of a sudden. This is an astronaut podcast. This is an
yeah,
astrophysics
it's
podcast.
always been a space
It
podcast.
always has been. This is
Right.
nothing new. Can
Uh-huh.
you Google what the distance between Earth and Mars is and what the distance between Earth and the moon is? Which
Distance
one
to
of those things
Mars.
is the one where it feels like you're there for like 5 minutes, but you're really there for like 5 years?
I feel like that would be like Pluto or something. The distance from Earth to Mars ranges from a minimum of 34 million miles to a maximum of 250 million miles.
So it takes how long to get there?
And then the moon is 238,000
Okay, so
miles.
close. She's close. But how
She's
long does
close.
it take to get to Mars?
Time to Mars from Earth would take between 7 to 10 months.
Has anyone been on Mars?
No, not human beings. Human beings haven't been on Mars. It's too far.
Is it? I don't know. Those 2 that were stuck in the space for 9 months during
They
that
were,
whole time,
and I'm
then could have
still waiting for
made
that
their
romance
way.
novel.
Lifetime's already tapped it.
Were they always being filmed is my question. Were they being
Yeah,
filmed 24/7?
I think so. Not when they were like
Let us in on that, okay? Don't
yeah.
worry about Love Island or Big Brother. I'm trying to see what's going on in there.
Okay, how about Love Island, though?
Okay, let's talk about the Love Island of it all.
Okay.
You
If you
guys, I
haven't
need you
caught
guys
up
to watch Love Island. I don't wanna talk to you if you can't watch Love Island because
yeah. Well,
I
because
need
now
to be
I'm
able to talk about
watching.
it with people.
So now they really have to watch because 'cause I'm caught up.
Right.
What we do is we wait.
Hunter's on board. You guys, come on. If Hunter's on board, you all need to be
Yeah.
on locked in. I need
We
you guys
watch
to
the night
lock in.
so, like, what we do is, like, for instance, today's episode 8, we watch episode 7, although we watched episode 7 in real time last night. Fuck. So, usually what we do is we wait the next day, watch the day before, so then we're never having to wait until 9 PM because they've been doing some weird shit. All this to
Mm,
say,
that kind of
why
makes
is
sense.
Jeremiah the hottest?
Listen, I don't there's I got he's attractive, but I'm getting big red flags from him. Really big red
Really?
flags. Yes, big red
Even though
flags.
he, like, literally was, like, pretty respectful because he was like, "I don't know, I don't really wanna start anything because 'cause I'm, like, in something."
No, the reason why he doesn't want to start anything or do anything is because he wants to just win. He wants to win the show. That's
Isn't
why.
that the whole point?
No, the whole point is to find love. And it's
Right,
like
but, like, it's
shitty
the
if you win, if you're like all
yeah.
about the money. Do you know what I mean?
I don't
But
know.
she thinks it's real and they're moving so fast. Him and Huda are moving so fast. I don't like how he reacted to her saying that she had a kid. He was just like, now I don't like how
Oh,
she
no.
said it, but I
Dude,
also
I was
don't.
literally like,
I'm like, just
"Sneak up."
say you're a mom from the jump because I feel like I don't think there's anything wrong with someone having kids being a deal breaker. Do you know what I mean?
No, here's the thing. That is a deal
That's where
breaker for a lot of people,
And
and
it
rightfully
should be.
so.
Yeah, it should be. Like, if you're not ready to be a step parent or even, like, someone that these kids are around all the time, then, like, don't get involved with the parent. So, for me, I'm like, the fact that she hid it as long as she did, I was like, this is kinda bait and switchy." Like, I don't and then she, like, was, like, waiting so long to tell him, and she was, like, dragging it out, and I was just like, "Girl, like, please." And then the way he was, like, kind of freaked out about it, I could tell, and then he kinda started cooling off on her. I feel like he kinda started cooling a
Yeah.
little on her.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't care for Ace, but I do like the fact that he held her hand when he said this. He was like, "Girl, we've been here 4 days."
Yeah.
You
Now,
know? Ace
Ace,
is for
though,
the streets,
but
but
here's the thing.
he's for the streets.
What's for the streets?
Ace
Yeah.
is for the streets.
What's that mean?
Okay, Gen Z lingo, dictionary time. For the streets is basically like they're a hoe.
Okay.
They gotta be out, like, they're trying to be out there running around. Do you know what I mean?
Ace for the
A little
streets.
bit
Okay.
slutty.
So, but here's the thing that I don't like about Ace, and if you're not caught up, then
Sorry.
pause. Yeah.
Sorry.
When last night when she was like, "Yeah, thanks, babe," and he was like, "Nah, don't call me babe." He's like, that's not it for me." And I'm like, "I literally call every single person I know in my life babe, even my son's teacher." Like,
Bro, he hates her. Tell me why he hates her.
oh
Tell
my
me why he picked her, and then he was like, "Ew, get away from me."
literally, I'm like,
Literally,
"You're toxic."
Ace picked her and then was like,
I
"Amaya,
hate
get
it.
away."
I know, and she's literally, like, so
Doesn't
dude,
she look like Zoe Saldana a little bit to you?
um, those 2 girls, Shelly
Oh,
is it Ayamana? What is it?
it's ayahuasca. It's
Ayahu
ayahuasca. No,
Ayahuasca?
it's Amaya,
Amaya?
Shelly,
Shelly?
and Olandria.
Olandria. Those 3 girls,
Oh,
oh my god, are
the
so
face here's the thing,
fun.
dude, every time any one of them come on the screen, turn around and you'll see me like this on the couch
No,
because
because I've
I've
never
been
seen face cards.
murdered by their face card. Murdered by their
Shelly
face
is
cards.
what I believe a mermaid looks like. She's what I believe a
100%.
mermaid now here's the
She's
thing,
like the definition of pretty. Do you know what you guys know what I mean? She's like the definition of pretty.
she's just like yeah, and same with Olandria, like, they're
She's like a
just
doll.
so
She looks like a
gorgeous.
little doll.
I need
Gorgeous.
all of these girls, and now
Olandria's
here's the thing,
cheekbones are up to here.
and the most stunning skin I've ever seen in my life. Okay, here's the thing, I need Ardell to send these
Mm.
girls a light wispy, okay, just a light wispy, and then I need Kosas to send them a BB cream, and then
Yes.
call it.
Right.
Because these girls are, when like people are just so naturally stunning and you're just like, oh my God. It's like when you see a house that is just has so much going on, but you're like, God, the bones are so good. They should have never,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, just don't do anything else to it. Literally, they just need a little, not, they don't even need a lash, honestly. Do a little Rare Beauty mascara, little BB
Right.
cream, bada boom, bada bing. They're glowing. Like
Like
Bella, I'm like,
Bella, girl,
girl,
why are your eyebrows blue, girl? Why did you dye your eyebrows blue in that last thing? Red here was blue, if you didn't notice on the when she got
she's
voted off.
so striking. I'm like,
So
Bella.
stunning. Now, do I understand a word coming out of her mouth, even as somebody who's very clued into Gen Z and Gen Alpha slang? No.
Do I understand why every time her name comes on, I say Belle?
Well, her name is Belle Dash A.
Yeah,
Okay, is what we're calling
Kayla.
her. It's Belle Dash A.
It's Belle.
It's Belle Dasha.
Belle. That's actually kind of
Belle
crazy.
Dasha is
That's
literally her
so
name.
something that would be. But
1,000%. No, you're so right. They just here's the thing, and this is what I told you. I was like, I feel like these girls, because they're on TV, they think that they have to like do a full beat and like they're self-conscious. But I'm like, it's HD TV. Like I can see through the layers of contour to like what is underneath. And what is underneath is so naturally beautiful.
oh my God, I know.
And
I
like they're just and then it's like it's so hot there, like, you can tell it's, like, so hot there, and, like, poor Huda, like, she just has these, like, thick lashes that are always just like this,
I
and she's
know.
always, always kind of, like, about to cry, and I think it's, like, also because it's so hot there, and dude, is there anything worse? I think it's because, like, we can feel the pain. Is there anything worse than when you have a full bead of makeup on and you're also sweating and in,
It's
like,
my
hot
worst
humidity?
fucking nightmare, Kayla.
Dude, there's
I
nothing
would I
worse
would leave that villa and have the worst acne of my life. I would have
ever.
my pores would literally be clawing outside my face. Now here's another thing,
Underneath my boobs would be covered in
covered in
breakouts.
boils for sure.
Boils in between my legs, raw, okay? Raw and boiled.
Yeah, and now here's the thing. The challenge where the bombshells came in was so was so insane,
Oh,
I couldn't watch it. I
no.
literally Brian and I were just like,
Hunter,
the
I sent you the photo of me, under a blanket.
Michaela, this is
Mm-mm.
like soft core. Like they're doing a lot.
We're doing a lot. I mean,
I
respectfully,
almost saw inside of a lot of people's bodies.
right, right.
Like literally.
Respectfully, like, the one girl, I think her name's Hannah, right?
Hannah, yeah.
Is from Arizona. So it's like that's
Mhm.
kind of what I expect from a girl from Arizona.
Michaela, not
What?
that we know not no shade to Arizona.
Listen, the Arizona girls are party girls is what I'm saying, and they
Yeah,
know it
ASU
too.
is one of the biggest party
I don't wanna
colleges.
what we're not gonna do is pretend like Arizona girls aren't party girls, okay? That's what we're
That
not gonna
part.
do because
That part.
they know that they are, and you
She
guys who are
also
listening, you guys know what the fuck I'm saying. You guys are down for the get down, and I know y'all.
That's right. That's right, honey.
I've never met
When
an
you're
Arizona girl that wasn't down to absolutely
throw
get
down.
buck wild.
Remember all of Bubba's friends that went to ASU were all the friends we were like, "Yep, they belong in ASU."
They belong
Party
in
boys.
ASU, dude. Absolutely.
I love the way she speaks though.
Mm.
When you like when someone talks and their mouth moves a certain way,
Yes,
she speaks
yes.
like that. She
That's how a lot
speaks
of people
and
feel about
looks
me.
and
Mhm.
they're silent for the rest of the podcast.
It's the
She's
crow in the background, the paid actor crow that just
she
crowed for me.
speaks and kind of
Mhm.
looks and has the same mannerisms as my friend Haley
Mhm.
Hasselhoff.
Mm,
Shout out
mhm,
to Haley
mhm,
Hasselhoff, who is
mhm,
so
mhm,
breathtaking, stunning.
mhm.
She also has one where you're just like, "Oh my God, I could just watch you talk forever." Not
Right.
that I have like a mouth thing, but I'm just like, when someone
I think there's
anyways,
something about that, though. I think there is something
yeah,
about
she
that.
like it's just so cute. Um, I think that the one guy, why am I forgetting his face? The Justin Baldoni looking guy.
Oh, Charlie, the British guy. I saw a
Okay.
thing that said that he has bad smelling pheromones. That's what they think it is. They think he has bad smelling pheromones. Like, have
Really?
you yes, well, have you ever, like, been around somebody and they're, like, facially attractive, but, like, there's something that your body is just, like,
Yeah, for
rejecting them
sure.
but, like, your brain is like, "This doesn't make any sense."
Yeah, for sure.
That's bad pheromones.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see
And I
that.
think
Now
that
you know who has
that's
bad pheromones
who?
that you can see through the screen?
What? Who?
Exact one guy. What's his name?
Austin,
Austin.
MAGA boy Austin.
The way that he grinds Brian's gears
Dude,
is so funny, dude. I
he
literally
grinds everyone's
anytime he's
gears.
on screen, Brian just like, "Oh, I'm Austin." Like
Yeah, but also
he
all these guys are so shitty that they're like, I actually agree. I couldn't believe I found myself agreeing with him when he was crashing out over Ace and the Shelly situation. He was like up on the thing about to jump off the balcony because he was like, she's not gonna chase him. I don't know what the fuck he's doing. Like, Shelly deserves better. Like, he was literally crashing out up on that
I don't even
balcony.
remember seeing that. Maybe I was like,
I don't think you've ever seen an episode of the show.
maybe
You
I was
it's
on
in
my
1 year.
phone.
Good thing we're not a recap show, bro,
Dude, oh
because
my
it
god,
would
I would
be
be
useless.
I would be so
Useless.
terrible.
He was like, because he's so into
I'll watch
her.
a whole movie,
Mhm.
no phone, eyes on the screen. You asked me about it after I wouldn't tell you what it was
No.
about.
Nope, absolutely not.
Okay.
No, but he was totally crashing out over her because he
Okay, but
was
here's the
like,
thing. I
he's
don't
so into her.
understand. Oh, he's so into Shelly.
And he's like, she deserves better. And like, whatever the fuck he's doing, this like game he's playing, she's not the one. And I was like, damn, dude, if I'm sitting here agreeing with Austin, now you guys have me fucked
Yeah.
up
I
because
need
now I'm
some
agreeing with
more
him.
bombshells to come in.
Oh, we need
I
hotter
think tonight,
men. We need hotter
bombshells.
men. We need hotter men.
I think
These men
tonight some
are
bombshells.
trolls.
Well, I don't think they're all troll. I think they're all pretty good looking, honestly. I honestly think this whole season is very
The women are the
good
most beautiful
looking
women I've ever
cast.
seen in my life, and these guys are fine.
But you also think that about every woman ever and every man ever. Now, this
That is true.
speaking of the Austin MAGA of it all, okay, I want to tell you about my friend, my best friend, who went on a date. Okay. She went on a date with a guy who is so clearly MAGA. Okay. And now they had a conversation where he basically said what he was looking for was a woman who is
A woman who
Christian.
doesn't understand due process.
Oh, like basically, though, just wait.
Right. Okay.
Because he was like, I'm, like, I want like a Christian woman to like raise my kids Christian. And she was like, oh, like, are you Christian? And he was like, no.
Okay.
And she was like, okay, but you
It's
want your
already
wife
checking
to
out.
be Christian and raise your kids Christian? And he was like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had a conversation. He basically was like, I feel like I don't have to go to church, but like I want my kids to have that and have that same value system, and my wife too.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And
So everyone else has to be up with the one particular value system that he doesn't have to follow,
yep.
right? Am I
Yep, I
following
literally
that?
have it all in writing and
Got it.
text. Yep, that I
Okay,
saw.
fabulous.
And then, she
I'm
was
mad.
she no, immediately mad. She right off the bat was like, "Oh my god, I got to get out of here."
Right.
And it's funny because when your friend sends you a picture of someone and asks your opinion and right away you're like, "Ooh, my spirit feels like irked by this
Yes.
person." That's how it was with this
Uh-huh.
guy. And then he basically said, he would want someone that's like stay at home, and like he wouldn't want his wife to really like work. And then he then after she said she wasn't interested, he called her a bunch of times, he said he was taken aback why she wasn't interested because he thought it went really well. And then when
He's like,
she
I don't understand. I'm a high value man. I'm a
well, he
high value
literally is giving
male.
high value man. Then literally kept calling her, kept texting
Crashing
her,
out.
and then said, "Hey, you know what? I think next week, let's do a rain check on our date because I'm actually going to be out of town." Like making it seem like it was his idea.
Of course,
Okay,
of
and
course.
then sends
Narcissism.
her a podcast with Megan Kelly and Jordan Peterson and tells her to listen to it. And she's sending me screenshots, and I just go, I've never in
Never.
my life,
Dude. Audacity.
the audacity of the pants that these guys are wearing, the audacity
Right.
pants
The audacity pants.
is
They're fitting them. They're
they're
fitting them somehow nicely.
fitting
They're fitting in
nicely
those
on them.
pants. Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
And now it's atrocious.
Yeah. That's
Atrocious.
absolutely alarming.
Yeah. So so that was just something that I dealt with
Yeah.
today.
You know
And I
what?
said, run for the hills.
Sometimes you can tell that someone is gonna be bad for your spirit. You
Also,
can
by the
tell.
way, I just need one look at somebody.
Listen,
If they have their
that's kind of
glasses.
profiling, but yes, I understand what you mean.
Absolutely. Here's the thing. I
It could
need
be
one look.
anything though.
No, here's the thing. I need one look at a white guy. That's all I need.
I just need to see one white man and I am like running for
But
the
here's the thing.
hills.
If they have a pair of glasses on the back of their head, sitting low on the back of their head,
Yeah.
run for the hills.
Run for
Okay.
the hills. Exactly.
If they're wearing honestly, any kind of, brand,
Right.
run for the hills.
Run for the hills.
Okay. That's
Right.
obvious. If they're
If their
fishing,
beard doesn't connect,
run for the hills.
run for the hills.
If they're fishing,
If they're wearing those Oakleys that have like the rainbow lens
oh my God, run for the
and
hills.
the photo is them in the front seat of their car, run for the hills.
If there's a photo of them with more than one guy with their arms around them and there's a bunch of red Solo cups in the background and they're at a barbecue,
Right.
run for the hills. If they're on
And
a
there's one
boat,
girl passed out like way over in the corner. Yes.
absolutely. If they're on a boat, if there's a picture of them on a boat,
Mm-mm.
run for the hill. If they're in
No.
Havasu, run for the hills.
Run
For the hills.
for the fucking
No,
hills.
run for the hills.
There is liberal men don't go to Havasu. There's never been a liberal man once
They're
in
at the
Havasu.
library reading.
Right. They're at the library reading, they're protesting, they're defending women's rights, they're, doing good for the world.
Yeah.
They're not at Havasu, all right?
No,
Getting their
they're
balls
not on a
squished by
boat.
Kawasaki's. Right.
If they're on a Kawasaki, run for the hills.
They're on a Kawasaki, absolutely getting their nuts squashed to smithereens. That's what they're doing. Okay. The little tiny nuts that they have left, they're getting squashed and obliterated.
Oh, God. If this ain't fun.
It's really fun. You guys, I hope that we were able to kind of lighten it a little bit today. We obviously had to touch on what we had to touch on because we're passionate about it, but we do like to bring laughs as well.
And levity.
Levity.
Laughs
Levitations.
and levity.
Laughs and levity. Dude,
Laughs
that's
and
not...
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Dude, Jason Gordon Levity.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
We love
and
Jason
also,
Gordon
by the way,
Levity.
while we're at it, live, laugh, John Lovett. Levity.
He's like, what? We love John Lovett in this fucking podcast. All right, guys, make sure that if you're not subscribed to Patreon, that you do. You get 2 extra episodes a month. You get all of our video. Everything is ad-free. It's $5 a month. Every day, Hunter has me on the ropes about this. So please
honestly.
subscribe. And we love you guys and we appreciate y'all so much. And gosh, stay safe out there, y'all. All right?
Peace, love, liberty, and justice for all.
Peace out. A-Town down. All right, bye.
Thank you guys so much for listening. You can catch a new episode of Model Citizen every Thursday. And please don't forget to follow the podcast so you don't miss any of the action. We want to hear from you. So please leave a rating and review and follow us on socials for all the behind the scenes action at Hunter McGrady and Michaela McGrady. And don't forget, you are worthy, you are loved, and you are capable of doing all wonderful things. Bye, guys.